Okay, man. So we got the Madden 23 gridiron notes. These are the brand new notes for Madden 23. There's a bunch of them, but this one's talking about gameplay, foundational football more specifically. So we're gonna go through all of this stuff, guys. It's pretty heavy chunk. So yeah, this is pretty much just giving you guys information, giving all of us information on like the big turnaround, the big things that were worked on for Madden 23. Will it all like actually like appear in the final game? Who knows? Some things may just have minor tweaks. It may make a big deal about it in these notes, but who knows if it actually will transfer over to be something meaningful for the actual game. But let's get into it. Okay, hey man fans, thanks for diving deep into Gridiron Notes. We are excited to share information about core gameplay. Yes. Before we share a few foundation football improvements coming to Madden 23, let's get caught on the all new Field Sense gameplay system. I want to look into this. Field Sense, it sounds pretty good from what the trailer showed me, but I need to know more about it. But it's changed the foundation of Madden gameplay only on the new next gen systems. Uh, Player feedback continues to drive our development efforts. If you guys don't know, the beta apparently just came out today on June 2nd. I don't have a code yet, but hopefully I'll get mine by the end of the day so I can log some hours and tell you guys what's up, what I think about the beta, because I'm gonna give you guys the raw, the real, the everything. And then our primary gameplay goal with our foundational football initiative is to strengthen fundamentals that our players, so that our players will have the tools to solve football problems with football solutions on the virtual gridiron. Yes. So the biggest issue in the Madden scene over the last maybe 7, 8 years, it's not so much the quote unquote cheese plays or quote unquote glitch plays, money plays. It's the fact that yes, these plays are technically unrealistic in its higher sense, but it has a realistic outcome. That's what I used to tell some players. All the glitch plays, the money plays, they may be unrealistic in forming, but the outcome is realistic. And so if you have a realistic outcome, you can scheme and figure out a realistic solution to counter that cheese play because it has a realistic outcome. Now, over the last couple of years, they haven't given us the tools to handle a lot of these things. So we've had to kind of like patchwork some stuff together, use some band-aids, make things work as defenders and offensive players in the game. They've given us a couple things like zone drops. Zone drops is really big to help stop like the crossing routes. But yeah, they give us more solutions. That's what I'm here for. So they're gonna be talking about pass coverage, pass rush, QB contain to deliver more balance to the gameplay experience. Yes, these three defensive fundamentals have to work together to provide authenticity and balance. Yes, we need all three to work together, guys. Let's talk about this pass coverage. They got it in bold, pass coverage. So, received a ton of feedback after launch last year around pass coverage, key to action specific covers, call outs throughout the title updates, both songs. So when they launched Madden 22, they were cover three actually played pretty decently. They handled a lot of things, but match was getting lit up. Cover four match palms like those they were getting lit up. Like the that stuff, but they improved it over the cycle, which is good to see that they actually take some issues. They took out some cover three bombs that were initially in the game, so they did do a lot of coverage work throughout the whole year. But let's talk about what's new in this Madden 23. Spot zone drops. Okay. Let me read this and then let me tell you what I think about this. We'll be featuring spot drop zones as our core zone coverage concept within our defensive playbooks and AI. Oh my God. This means by default, all zone coverage in our playbooks will be strictly using spot drop zone logic in coverage specific areas of the field. So they have a mixture of both spot drop and match coverage like we had last year. So they've been doing that the last like maybe 5 or 6 years. It's been a mix between spot dropping and pattern matching um, and match coverages. The main purpose of this change was to make the play art in the play call screen the central source of truth for all players so they can better predict how their zones react during plays. Yes, people don't know what the freak is going on. If you haven't been playing Madden the last like couple years heavily, or you haven't, if you're not a football guy or gal, you don't know what match coverage is going on. You don't know what's going on. The average person on the sticks does not have a clue about match coverage. So that does simplify things a lot for everybody. Okay, match zone coverage concepts are still accessible through our coaching adjustments menu. Then the play selection, simply flipping the zone coverage coach adjustment to match will bring back our in-depth rule set for match coverages, those that convert zone to Mandarin play when specifically calling the match go. Let's talk about this, guys. Let's talk. Let's talk. A lot of y'all weren't outside for this. A lot of y'all weren't playing Madden for this. Madden used to be spot drop zones. They switched. They started to switch in Madden 12, but I think by like Madden 15ish, they kind of 15 or 16ish, they kind of went strictly into their match coverage types of zone coverages. So for those in layman's terms, let me see if I can get this out. See if I can get Microsoft Paint. No, let me get this out. Okay, Microsoft Whiteboard. Let's go. Let's go. Let me draw this up for you. Let me John Madden this up for you so you guys can understand what's going on in the chat. Okay, let's go. New whiteboard. Bam. Let me draw up some defense real quick. Let me get some. What do I got? Let me get some shapes. Then I got no X's. Let me get these circles. Bam. Oh no, that's not a circle. Either way, we're gonna let it rock. We're gonna rock. Let's draw a quick little 4-3. Quick little 4-3. Bam. Let's use this little diamond thing. Let's use them. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's use these triangles. Bam. Let's go. Let's get it. Let's get it. Let's get it. So I'm a cover 3 guy. I lived this. This is when I was best in Madden, was spot drop zones. Cover 3. Let me get the pen. Let me get my John Madden out. Let me get my purple. Purples. Let me get my blues. Okay, bam. We drawing up a cover 3. Let's zoom this out. Cover 3 this. Bam. We just gonna, how we want to do this? Yeah, we just roll him out here. Cover 3. Bam. Let's get these purples out here. Purple this homeboy. We'll roll him down to a purple. Bam. Matter of fact, can I undo this? Nah, forget it. We cool. Let me get this yellow. Then bam. Bam. Okay. For example, right? Hopefully, can you guys see my cursor? Let me see. Forget about it. We're gonna rock. Y'all can see my pointer, right? Y'all can see this pointer. Okay, so for example, if matter of fact, let me get this pen back out. Pen back out. We're gonna use black for the offense. Let's say, show us real quick, a little curl flat action. A little curl flat action is going on here, guys. In years past, with a zone drop, this guy in this purple, he would play this curl 100% of the time. He is not even looking for the flat at all. He doesn't care what's going on underneath him. He's going to his spot and he is staying. Meaning this curl is always taken away. You always know that, bam, I got this purple here and he's guarding his area, his purple area. There's no give, there's no ifs, ands, or buts. And I could just call this and have y'all gonna run curl flats or some underneath thing, and y'all dropping this down to this homeboy in the flat every single time. That's what that means. That means I have predictability on defense. Same thing with homeboy over here. He's doing the same. He's playing his little areas, his little curl flat area. I know where he's going to be at. I know the flats are going to be open, so I'm scheming for that. I'm telling the offense, bam, fall into my web. And then when it's time for me to attack, I will shift and make something happen, put some people in the flats. Once you think you got that easy read, I'm going to take that away. With that started changing once Madden 12 came out. When Madden 12 came out, they started changing with match coverage. The first zone coverage they tried to adjust for match principles is this purple route. They've destroyed purples for Madden 12 and Madden 13. They were unusable because they were trash. And they were only trash because it was a transition period to these match principles. And so that's understandable. That's a loss leader. Like, I will accept them being trash for the overall better and development of the game. I get that. I'm here with them. But with now the way the game is, you can have this guy in this purple, his curl flat zone, right? His curl flat, same coverage, but now we're in newer Maddens, we're in matching principles. You can have this very same route combo here. He'll go to this curl first, and then he might suck down and drift down to these flats. You'd have to lab it out. It's different every single game. You'll have some routes that he'll stick on, some he'll drift down. He might drift down depending on if your quarterback rolls out. He might drift down depending on what else is going on the field. You don't know in that particular game until you lab it out. So yes, he's more dynamic of a player. He can cover more things, cover more ground, but at the same time, it sucks for predictability on defense because you don't know what he's going to do when the ball is snapped. You know what he's going to do once the routes develop, but as a defensive player, for me, in my personal opinion, I don't like that unpredictability factor. Same thing with these yellows. The older Maddens, Madden 11 and before, they went to their areas. I know homeboys posted up here. I know homeboys posted up here. If y'all running some underneath, cool. I could drop my D tackle in a QB spy. I could do whatever with it. And now with zone drops in the game, with the ability to change your zone drops the yardage, that works out even better, guys. Oh my god, I'm so freaking hyped. If this plays out how it used to, if zones end up playing like old Madden, my cover 3 is back. I used to be a cover 3 freaking demon. Now cover 3 is super hard to run because you can just these purples are unpredictable. And that's the most important zone in Madden cover 3. So let's hopefully you guys understand why that's so important. So let's go back down here. Okay, yeah, the fact that let me go back to the whiteboard. The fact that you have the ability to click on and off if you want match principles or spot drop zones, that's crazy because that's something I told them to do years and years and years ago. And finally it happened. I don't know if they didn't hear me. Who am I? They didn't listen to you, boy. But the fact that it's in the game and it's something I've wanted for so long, I'm happy off of that. I am so cool. I'm so hype off of that. Okay, let's moving on. Drift logic for deep zone defenders. Okay, interesting. Drift logic, interesting. Drift logic is all new coverage behavior, all new, so it might be a little buggy, but let's see where they're going with this. For deep zone defenders, this logic prevents deep zone defenders from drifting too far up the field without having a vertical threat in their area. This will prevent those third window throws on deep crossing routes. I don't know how I feel about that. Drift logic allows the defender to recognize a receiver approaching his zone sooner, faster him in coverage as he crosses his face and not get beat underneath. Players told us those third window crossers were completed too consistently, and this new drift logic aims to address that feedback. Okay. This could be a little complicated. This might be a little. Hear me out, guys. Hear me out. In my opinion, when I read this, I'm already thinking about how can I bomb this deep zone. I'm just gotta have a guy coming from the other side of the field deeper. Something's gonna happen with that. I already know. Will it be a good or a bad switch? I can't tell you. The game isn't out. It just depends on how everything plays out. But where my mind is thinking when I read that, there's some way to get somebody over the top over a deep third. There's some way to get somebody over the top in a cover 4 drop zone. You know, there's some way to get somebody over the top over a cover 2. But it does address the fact that people could just throw crosses with no pull route, no clear out route, meaning For those of you guys that do not know, yes, I have a lot of stuff on my desktop. Can I clear this out? Can I clear? Forget about it. We going brand new whiteboard. I need a template. Going forward, I'm gonna make a template. So, for example, offense. I'm just O-line, receiver, zoom out, receiver. That's all I need to draw for the offense. So, for example, what they're talking about is a lot of crossers, these deep crossers. Let's just say you just got put him in a flat, have him just run a flat, a little stop, a little smoke screen. You can complete that against cover 3 because what do you have? Let me get a blue. This corner and this deep third, and hear me out. This guy that's in this purple, this guy is in this purple, this curl flat. Like I said before, with these pattern reading zones, he will literally just go down, sink down, and take away that flat. This guy in this deep blue will keep drifting back, drift back, drift back, drift back, and allow this deep crosser that's sitting at like 25-ish yards, 30-ish yards, to get underneath him. And it just has a bad break. He'll be all the way back here. This corner will be back here, and just allow that throw. Be able to sneak that throw in there. So what they're saying is like their change is going to address that right there. Which, like I said, it can be really good, or it can be, who knows. The game has to come out. We got to play it. But again, this logic mixed in with these new drop zones, who knows? Might be a great pairing. Might be a very great pairing. Let's go. Now we on zone defender locomotion. We've captured a whole new set of defensive back specific movement animations along with new AI supports. The defenders of Madden 23 will backpedal, flip their hips, strafe, and look back at the ball more smoothly, more athletically, more realistically. Not only will defensive backs look the part, but these new movement animations will get them where they want to go more efficiently, which will make passing windows against zone coverage much tighter. Thank you. Thank you. This is one of those things where we just got to play the game. We're not going to know till we get our hands on the game. But if this is even a 2% improvement over Madden 22, Madden 23 zone coverage is already better. Just if this is just a little bit better, this one area right here is a little bit better, the entire zone coverage in the game is so much better. I'm telling you. Because there's so many times, let's go back to the whiteboard, like that this guy's in the purple route. He's in the purple zone. Can I go back? Yeah. Undo, keep undoing. Where am I at? Okay, keep undoing. All right. Okay, let's get these shapes back on here. Let's get homeboy right here. Let's get homeboy right here, right? For example, let me draw some up real quick. You got something simple. Corner, bam. Streak, bam. You have a flat, bam. Right? Let's say you got purple zone, curl flat. Bam, he's here. He's here, he's sitting, right? The fact, again, is match logic. For whatever reason, he doesn't commit to either the corner. Let's say it's a cover 3. He's not committing to the corner or the flat for whatever reason. He's not committing at all to anything. And his deep zone's being pulled away by that streak. So this corner route's wide open. The only person to play it, it's even close really, is you're either going to have a guy in a yellow, which you have to user cover this corner, right? Or, let's get that off, this guy here in this purple is by himself. A lot of times you could drop that ball right over the top of him, right over the top. He'll be like sometimes he'll depending on which hash mark you're on, he'll be there. He'll be able in the vicinity to kind of make a play, but he's just too far away. Like he's so stiff in his transition between his back pedal and his breaking on the ball, all that good stuff. He's just not able to get his fingers out there to tip that ball to swat it away. So if this if this transition, this seamless transition between backpedaling, flipping the hips, and running, if that is if that's 1% better, the game is automatically better. Zone coverage is automatically way better if it's just 1 or 2% better than what it is in Madden 22. I love this. If this is just a little bit better, it's already a W. W. Okay, route specific break on throw logic. Ooh, okay. We've also added dynamic break times for each type of zone defender when facing specific routes. Zones are supposed to take away specific routes or areas of the field will now break on and throw faster versus those routes. Then they go against routes their zones are not designed to take away. That zone, hopefully, thank God. Don't keep throwing at my yellow. Don't throw at my hook. Stop throwing at my hook curl, guys. Stop, please. These flat defenders are flat defenders. Throwing at their face all day long. All day long. You can throw at them all day long. They just don't break fast enough. Thank you. One example of this is a hard flat right here. I'm telling you. They read my mind. One example of this is the hard flat zone, aggressively breaking on a route to the flat instead of leveraging deeper routes first. Yes, my guy, you are in a hard flat. Play your flat. I don't care what's going on. Play your flat. That's why you're in that zone. Another is a deep outside third defender in cover 3, breaking faster when a corner route enters their zone. Notes, they should put quotations. He will not do that if a pull route, a clear route streak is in the area. Because guess what, guys? If this streak is here, Deep Blue, you better play that streak. If you're not playing that streak, get off my field. If this streak is not here and this corner's here, play that corner, my guy. Play that corner. Like it. We need to see how this works out. Again, this is another thing where if it's just 2 or 3% better than what it was in Madden 22, Madden 23 zone is already a dub. New end zone coverage logic. Previously, our deep zone defenders made little logic adjustments when they were covering in the end zone. That's an understatement. They didn't do a daggone thing. They're here just floating in space, sucking inside. They just out here just doing stupidness. Resulting in defenders squeeze down on routes, breaking to the inside again, while disregarding underneath zone defenders, resulting to the sideline corners of the end zone being left wide open. This year, those outside deep zone defenders stay outside and sit on those outbreaking or third window crossing routes. Thank God. They let routes come to them and they aggressively break on the throw. Now, people will have to change the way they play red zone defense now. I like this. They should be playing the area that they're supposed to play. But now this changes logic, how you call defense in the red zone. I'm already telling you this right now. Run spread. Run a spread offense. The seams, people have to play these seams. It puts a lot of pressure on you defensively. It takes away the unknown of what happened in Madden 22. People could just abuse those routes that bounce on the back of the end zone and head towards the corners because the zones were so trash. But this makes you be accountable as a defender, which is a good thing. It's a really good thing. I like this adjustment. Hopefully it's good to go. And hopefully they don't overcompensate and play too far to the outsides, if that makes any sense to anybody. I don't need homeboy in my deep third playing all the way to the back pylon. You know, I need him playing his area, being aware of what's coming around his areas, if that makes any sense to you guys watching. Okay, DB catch versus swap. What's this talking about? With our zone coverage defenders playing stronger fundamental football, we have turned the balance between play ball and play receiver and SWAT. so that you'll see defenders use a wider array of behaviors when the ball is in the air. Thank God. Rather than always attempting the interception. What game are y'all playing? Where computer defenders always attempt the interception. Moving on. This coincides with the tuning on how far defenders are allowed to see the ball when not facing it and promotes more organic mid-air interactions at the catch point via our field sense hit everything branching technology and mechanics. I am all for that. Me personally, if I'm just gonna speak out loud here. I don't care if you guys agree or not. If it's a computer defender making the play, I would more as a I would opt for that computer defender to play the defender. I want to reward click on users with interceptions. Meaning, I want that defender, if he's a computer controlled player, focus on dislodging that ball. Make sure a catch is not completed between playing the ball, between playing that defender and swatting that ball. Be on the safe side. I want that next down coming. I want that incompletion next down coming. Now, I want them to, every once in a while, especially if it's a duck or something obvious, make a play on the ball, intercept the ball. But I don't want them making absurd attempts at interceptions. Reward click-ons. Reward me for using that interception. That's my part about that. Now let's get to these pass rushing QB contains. Okay. Let's read this. While we've made an investment in our coverage fundamentals, our players know that pass coverage is only as good as pass rush in front of it. Thank you. Yes, it is. What we have truly created this year is a larger pass defensive initiative for Madden 23 by fine-tuning our pass rush to increase pressures and refining disengaged efforts from our defenders to deal with mobile quarterbacks. This is what this means too long didn't read. It's going to be a whole lot more runners at the start of the year in Madden 23. The starts of Madden seasons are normally filled with runners, but this next year is going to be even more filled because just off of the cover stuff alone, it's going to be harder to throw the ball for newer people getting into Madden 23. Okay, quicker get-offs for all pass rushers. Pass rushers are now going to get off the ball much quicker. Any blitzing player will have a shorter delay in times than reaching the snap that opens the quarterback for more pressures when calling stock blitz plays. In addition, new animations for both blockers and pass rushers during their battles result in the pocket forming more naturally, while collapsing faster. QBs will have to step up in the pocket and use checkdowns to get the ball before the pass rush gets home. We'll see how this happens. They say this. We'll see how this develops, and we'll see if they change it and tune it based on people crying at the beginning of the year. We'll see. To be determined. Pass rush lane integrity. Pass rushers got new logic and playbook assignments. Changes to playbooks that will improve the integrity of rush lanes, gaps when rushing the passer. This means that each lane will be filled by a rusher while avoiding having multiple rushers in a single gap, which would essentially allow those defenders to block themselves and take them out of the play. I wonder how that affects blitzes. That's another thing we just gotta wait to get the game or the beta. Disengage improvements. Stopping mobile quarterbacks has been a difficult task for defense at both NFL and Madden. Added new AI, tuned some of the defensive behaviors to give the defense more balanced tools to deal with mobile quarterbacks. We've improved disengage animations for pass rushers to get away from blockers faster. Especially better happen if the QBs roll out. The QBs roll out, it should be an automatic disengage. In real life, if you roll away from that blocker, the player has an easy disengage. I'm telling you this as a person that played defense for 11 years. Played everything in the front seven. Yes, if the QB rolls out of that pocket, out of that interaction with me and that blocker, I'm disengaged. So yes, Hopefully that alone will just hurt escape artists. For one-on-ones and double teams, shoot the quarterback when they roll out. Okay. We also improved the prediction AI for contained players so that they be more responsive and anticipating when the QB is going to take off so that they can react quicker and get themselves in position to make a play. All that means to me is y'all have added some code into the game where if a QB is hitting sprint and rolling out, that kind of triggers that QB contain. That's what you just told me right there, which is cool. I ain't got nothing wrong with that. Hey, but that adds more. You have to be smarter about your scrambling, which adds more depth to the game, which I like it. Okay, blocking to bring balance and more authenticity. You've added new pass block animations that work in combination with the rushes. Okay, that includes edge animations to bring pressure as well. And lastly, add-on blocks. We wanted to call them out again. Stability for route runners, overfield blockers, seamlessly enter. Thank you. So what they just said right here, they wanted to call them out again. Route runners and open field blockers. Open field blockers. That means, for example, you've made a pass play. You've completed the pass. And all those times you've seen those extra wide receivers up the field just picking their nose, twiddling their thumbs, looking for butterflies, doing nothing. They might get a block. Just might. With this added, they just might do something for your boy. Okay. About this we got. Also, if you decide just control F for escape artist, we got you. Escape artist has been pulled from the passive superstar ability pool and is now an X Factor. Once you've met the in-game X Factor conditions to activate it, the boost grants with escape artist when activated will be Ooh, so escape artist isn't even gonna be as good as an X Factor. We still want to offer explosive playmaking for mobile quarterbacks, but if you feel this better balanced approach, we will have more detail. This game's already goaded. This game is already goaded. It's goaded. I don't care. Just from taking escape artists out. I'm telling you, this game is just gonna be way better. If you just play Madden 22 with no escape artist, your enjoyment of this game goes up 2 ticks. If you scored this game a 6 out of 10 before, you just take escape artist out, the game is already an 8 out of 10. I'm telling you. The fact that escape artist is not a passive ability is so amazing. They even said with escape artist with the X Factor, it's not going to be as good as the passive ability was. So that's great. That's amazing. First and foremost, that means you have to work for your escape artist. You have to work for it. And so that alone is a W. And two, it's not going to be as good. And I can take you out that zone. I'm assuming a sack takes you out the zone. So the game's goaded just off of that. Don't worry about anything I said previously. The game is just coded off of that. Oh man, let's move on. How much that? Yo, this a little gridiron. This is gridiron notes. They getting into it. 4 additional foundational football improvements. That's not all for foundational football improvements for Madden. That's just the ones we want to share first. Let's talk about key areas. Catching. Catch the ball. New context sensitive catching animation have been added so that no matter where you place the ball with the new passing mechanic, the appropriate catch will follow. What does that mean? I don't know. Let's read further on. Let's see if they talk about it. Going to the furthest lead point on a streak route with skill-based passing will allow the receiver to catch while reaching out over his shoulders. Jesus. If you throw it to a receiver's back shoulder on a streak, you'll see the back shoulder catch animation. Oh my god. Okay. We include new fake catch animations. So, forget all that. What that told me right there, that back shoulder fade, I believe, because you could throw back shoulder fades in older Maddens. I've thrown them in older Maddens without the target based passing that was in the older Madden. You could throw a back shoulder fade before, but what I like about this is that first example. If you throw the receiver's back shoulder on a streak, you'll see that back shoulder catch animation. What I'm assuming is like he's catching it over top his shoulder, looking back, running in stride, looking back, able to catch that ball. Now, that's going to be hell with a Tyreek Hill or a fast receiver. If you got to step on that guy, um, well, I mixed up the example. So if you're throwing to the furthest deep point on a streak route, will allow you to get that reaching over the shoulder animation. So that will be hell with a Tyreek, but that still opens up the slower receivers too. You may not get that runaway to the end zone touchdown, but you're gonna get a completion. When in years before, that would be just a pass breakup. So I like that. I need to get my hands on that. Playbooks. Let's talk playbooks. Madden 23, our top goals for playbooks center around streamlining and differentiating our content to better tie with our gameplay feature set while also adding enough of winning value to new veteran players. Okay. They started with defense. I love it when they started with defense. To better tie with our pass coverage defensive alignment improvements, we refine plays available in our defensive set to help ensure they're able to function properly when matched against common offensive looks. I do not know what that means. In the NFL, defensive coordinators strive to marry the coverage shell and the alignment of the front together, yes, so that structurally they can function without the need for too many special adjustments. Okay, I was gonna make an assumption, but it looks like they carry on. What this means for Madden 23 is lower play counts for each defensive set for the previous years. Thank you. I was gonna go with that direction because they just had every coverage in every damn defensive set, damn near. When they didn't marry, they didn't match. So with this to work, they have to take away some of these zone coverages. They have to take some of these plays out the game. If they want to match the run fits with the zone coverage, with the alignment, they have to skim it down a bit, which I'm cool with. But I'm not gonna be cool with it if you take out some plays that I run. I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna be honest with you, but we'll see. But we believe players will appreciate the plays available in each set. We better hold up front alignments. Okay, yeah. Example of this would be our 3-4 and 4-3 under defensive set players. We'll notice that most of the plays available show a single high safety, middle of the field, closed look. Okay. We added new plays such as cover 2 invert and trap blitzes that will look like cover 1. Oh my god, yes. That just means that just means playing different defenses will make you better, harder to stop, more things to look for on offense. Being different on defense will help you because you have new plays to play around with. I like that. Um, these new plays will complement the improvements to our deep zone passing logic. Okay. I'm still gonna make me a cover 2 out that bit, but cool. On offense, off the side, our goal is focused on what teams actually do as it relates to their real life counterparts. We've heard that for the last 4 or 5 years. These updates haven't been updating these last 4 or 5 years. Let's see what you're talking about. In the past, we've seen teams use a formation on a consistent basis, but only ran a handful of plays, unless that formation will be filled out with common plays shared across multiple playbooks. For Madden NFL 23, focus on adding the core plays and concepts each NFL team uses at the most, which results in more concise and slightly smaller playbooks that are more team specific and unique. I'm big on unique. If you give me unique, I don't care if it's smaller. You feel me? If you can make this iPhone Pro look different than that iPhone Pro, I may have a deep crosser from this one. I may have a deep crosser on the other wide receiver in the other playbook. I'm cool. It just helps add variety to the playbooks. And if you add special, I've talked about this for years. If you add special things within a playbook, it'll make people gravitate to more playbooks. For example, if the Atlanta Falcons had some wild ass stuff from like a single back spread that's only in their playbook, like these 4 or 5 new plays you've never seen in any other playbook, that would make people gravitate a little bit more to that playbook versus just running the meta. There's more wild things you can get into, which we'll see how this plays out, but I'm happy about that. We'll do a deeper dive, okay, in the future gridiron notes, which is cool. Okay. AI QBs. I don't care about AI QBs, but AI QBs have been tuned to get better differentiation between how they see the field under pressure, depending on their ratings. They've been saying this for years. QBs with a lower awareness rating will struggle to find open receivers and have a higher chance of throwing into cover target, allowing your defense to make a play. Cool story, bro. New injury animations have been added to players while standing and running. Also added new injury animations when battling in the trenches. Primary. Call me when there's injuries in mud, and I might be cool. I might be interested. Interesting. When a player gets injured during the play, you'll see the appropriate behavior. So he goes the ground, and he'll stay on the ground until he's assisted off by the training staff. Signature content. We've captured new signature animations for a selection of the top players of the league, like you always do, to add some of the latest and best big play touchdown celebrations as seen on game day. In addition to this, we've added more signature animation to the celebration locomotion so that players will run into the end zone more like their real life counterparts. Throw up the peace sign, Tyreek. Bro. Yeah, there's like four other gridiron notes, but bro, that's a lot of information. I liked I liked what I read. Hopefully it transitions to the game.